Darren Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Darren Tuttle with you. We are back. It is about a little after 11:30. This will be your lunchtime live weather update for your Tuesday. We'll take you on into the rest of the week, on into the upcoming weekend to see how your weather's going to cooperate or maybe not cooperate for you. We've had some rain around, which is good. Matter of fact, some areas got a little too much rain. And then once you got across the border into Texas, they saw way too much rain down there. We're going to look at some of those rainfall totals too as well. So thanks for joining me. Please like and share this video. Thank you again for following and for your support here at AT's Weather. All is appreciated. All right, let's take a look outside. We do have obviously some cloud cover that's kind of rolled on in overnight into this morning. Kind of on the back end, we're kind of on the northwest side of an upper level low that's kind of anchored over eastern Texas. So that's going to be a lot of rainfall again for Louisiana, southern Arkansas, far eastern Texas, but at least the North Texas area gets a break. But we have at least some cooler weather as a result. I've got 79 degrees here in my backyard with a northeast wind at 4 miles per hour. And you can see there in the background, there is a little bit of a break in the skyline where you can't see a little bit of clear blue sky underneath that little cloud canopy. So that is something that will continue to be ongoing. In other words, we'll see more and more sun try to come on out as these clouds start to move out. Okay, let's take a look at, by the way, thanks you guys for watching on Rumble, on YouTube as well, as always, and leaving your comments, also for Twitter as well, and on Facebook. If you want to get notified when I do go live, you can tap on this link I just posted, and I will send you a direct notification through your Facebook Messenger, because sometimes the algorithms don't always tell you whenever I do go live. That way you don't miss anything. All right, so here's a look at the cloud cover we talked about, and you can see how it's kind of moving in an interesting fashion, right? So this time around, it's moving from this region down to this region, kind of in a northeast to southwest fashion. So that's kind of indicative of that upper level low that's down to our southwest, and everything rotates counterclockwise around an upper level low. And so when that happens, you're going to get these clouds moving in an opposite direction that we normally would see them. But you can see there's still quite a few bubbling up here across North Texas, but this little thick cirrus canopy layer is starting to kind of dwindle. You see how it's kind of getting more and more diffuse. So we'll see more and more sun peek through, but it will be a partly cloudy day today for this afternoon. And not bad when it comes to temperatures either. So that's pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about rainfall. So quick shot down here in Dallas over the weekend into yesterday. They saw some record flooding. Some of these areas got up to a foot of rainfall. And of course, that caused a lot of flash flooding. You can see a lot of these numbers here in the 6 to 7 to 9 inches of rainfall. It's not a widespread foot of rain. It's just these little hit and miss spots. Like, for example, let's take Rockwall. North side of Rockwall got 3 inches of rainfall. On the south side of Rockwall, though, kind of be split. There's 66, Highway 66 that runs right in Rockwall, and then there's I-30. In the I-30 observation, got 9 inches of rainfall. That's a 6-inch difference. That's quite a range. If you look down here into downtown Dallas, they saw a foot of rain. Or Mesquite, almost a foot of rain there. Some big totals here all across the intermixed cities of suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth. And back here to actually downtown Fort Worth, also pretty good value there, about 11, just about 10.5 inches of rainfall. So that was the Metroplex area. You probably saw them on the news. And heavier rainfall amounts extended along east on I-20, all the way through eastern Texas, where they saw anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 inches of rainfall. Here's a little spot right here of 10 inches. So my goodness. Now remember, they've been in a drought. Just like Oklahoma, they've been in a worse drought, a drought that just never seemed to end, and they got it all at once. Now here in Oklahoma, we did get some rainfall too. And our issue has a little bit of minor flash flooding down here in southern Oklahoma. We saw 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to, yes, 6 inches of rainfall here in southwest Oklahoma along the Red River. And we talked about that in the forecast, how this area would be hit the hardest with rainfall, and we could see some potential flash flooding. Once you got up to around I-40, that was kind of the dividing line. So if I were to draw this little boundary for you right about here, so everything south, was more substantial, and everything north hit and miss and not as much. Exception out here to this little section here. Other than that, the models did pretty good on the forecast as far as where the placement of the heaviest rainfall would be. Drought conditions, it fell over the areas that needed the most, which is down here in southern Oklahoma. So this update was August 16th. We'll have a new update coming up. And that new one, next couple of days, will show a lot of this red down here being eradicated back probably into the orange area. So the drought lessening a little bit. Now there's a flash flood watch, but not here in Oklahoma. It's in eastern Texas and Louisiana and southern counties of Arkansas. Now out there currently, we talked about, temperatures are pretty nice thanks to the cloud cover, but they're a little bit more on the muggy, warmer side up in northern Oklahoma, so mid 80s there. Otherwise 70s over a good chunk of the state. And our winds are out of a northeasterly direction. Not too bad, about 5 to 10 miles per hour on average, with some gusts up to around 15 to 20 on occasion. Okay, so what's going to happen? Well, let's take a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere. You know what I like to do? Go to the jet stream pattern. Remember, the colors, the brighter the colors, the stronger the upper level energy. These are upper level disturbances, as I like to call them, to kind of simplify things. It's an area of lift and spin in the atmosphere. We call them vorticity areas. And so you want those colors on top of you if you want clouds and rainfall. So obviously we've got that going on here in eastern Texas and even a little bit of Oklahoma currently, right? All right, so watch what happens. Also, we can point out where these highs and lows are in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So let's go on into Wednesday. I'm going to stop it here, just kind of give you an idea of how the pattern is midweek, okay? All right, so this is a little lesson for you. So we got the ridge of high pressure here. Let's see, what else we have on the map? We've got a low up here. Looks like that's a mini little high there. Got a little low here, something in the tropics way down here in the Yucatan. All right, so what happens is, on the jet stream pattern, you have air that flows clockwise around a high, kind of like this. So this little patch of energy kind of came in off the eastern slopes of the Rockies and has moved down into Oklahoma and Texas and kind of sit here for a little bit, all right? Okay, so what's going to happen? Now we go through time. So that's Wednesday. Let's go on into Thursday and Friday, all right? Now we're going into Saturday. Okay, you see what's coming in on Saturday? Look at that. See a little batch of energy that rolls through the middle part of the country. So here's our little low right here, and this would be our trailing trough axis from it. So this trailing trough axis provides a lift in the atmosphere. This is Saturday afternoon, so that means your bulk of your rain will be kind of in this fashion here. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, nothing widespread, but enough to at least get some people wet. And then as this trough moves east, that'll bring that little rain threat a little bit more east with it. And then we're going to look back to the west for more of this energy to come in and follow suit. So our pattern is changing as we head into the weekend. So again, that was Saturday. Here's Sunday. You can see that bright color still anchored over the map. And as we head on into Monday and Tuesday of next week, on into Wednesday, look what happens. You see this? The energy gets trapped and starts to circulate right here over Kansas. So what that does is it forms an upper level low that sits here. We have a ridge out here to the west of us, and if you look at the pattern itself, remember air flows clockwise around a high, kind of like so, but it also flows counterclockwise around a low. So it's kind of in a stagnant pattern. Now that's great. Why? Because it's going to produce a lot of rainfall in this area, and Oklahoma is included in that. So what does that look like? Let's take a look at how that transpires. So if we go through time, through the week, most of the rain early in the week is down south, southeast. Now, as we head into the weekend, onto next week, look what happened. You see all this rainfall total start to just blossom here across Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa and Missouri, and look at Oklahoma. Widespread 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of rainfall, and this is just an average. This doesn't even include, those pockets of heavier amounts, and that goes into the following week. So the pattern change is good for us. Okay, so short term rainfall, mainly down here across southern and southeastern Oklahoma for this afternoon. However, Like in the blog, because that little energy is kind of rotating around, I can't roll out little stray showers, popping up anywhere. So, but most of the concentrated areas down here in southern Oklahoma here for this afternoon into North Texas, even though they're very isolated to widely scattered, so it's not a widespread thing at all. Let's go on into Wednesday. All right, you see these little spotty showers is in the morning, so don't be surprised if you just get wet for like 5 minutes and it's done. Here's Wednesday afternoon, still some spotty showers kind of showing up. And you can see how they kind of pop up here in central Oklahoma. There's really no rhyme or reason. These aren't going to be very predictable. They're just going to pop up and they'll be gone rather quickly. But just to show you that there is a little bit of instability that remains on Wednesday for some of those little spotty quick showers. Rainfall amounts out of that won't amount to anything. So in other words, here is our rainfall totals through Thursday here in central and parts of eastern Oklahoma. Worst case scenario models say maybe you'll get a ½ inch if you're lucky, up to about a ½ inch. Otherwise, anything more substantial is in the southeastern quadrant of the state, right around McAllister to Fort Smith and back down toward Ardmore, and then point south and east from there. All right, so rainfall totals for the weekend. Most of the concentrated rain will be up here into western Oklahoma with some better thunderstorm activity on Saturday. And then, like I said, on Sunday, we'll kind of drift this more into this section of the state. Model's a little weak on the output. This is the European model, so it's not a blend, it's just the European model. I picked it because it had the storms out here better showcased. But you can see it's got potential 2 inches of rainfall, 2 inches of rain. So we'll see what happens, for the Saturday, Sunday time frame. But if you do have plans for the weekend, just make sure, keep that in mind. You might have to move things around. Okay, temperatures this afternoon. Obviously, there's more sun already in northern Oklahoma, so you got a little head start of warming things up. So low 90s for you. Because of the clouds, holding things back a little bit here for central and southern, southeastern Oklahoma will be into the 80s. Even still some 70s hanging in there where the showers kind of hit and miss throughout the course of the day. All right, and here is your outlook. Nothing's really changed since I did the blog of the day. We're going to have temperatures holding right about 90 degrees. See you, Matt. No, at least it's not a long orange shirt. Holding right around 90 degrees over the next few days, and then maybe back into the 80s. So good news is August, man, gave us a break, right? The first half was a little brutal, but the second half is going to make up for it. And that's good news for us. Overnight lows back into the 60s. So really decent weather coming up. If you like this kind of stuff, right? Now, what I hope for is a beautiful fall. Fall, if you ask me, Aaron, what is your most favorite time of the year? It's the fall. Why? Because you get those temperatures that, top out in the low 80s, kind of dry usually, not a lot of humidity around. Overnight lows are cool, like in the 50s, to low 60s. That's my kind of weather, especially if we get like topping out into the mid to upper 70s even. That's even better, right? You can get the windows open, let that fresh air in. So that's what I look forward to. I call it San Diego weather from California. So if you California transplants, if you're ever wondering if this oppressive, disgusting heat will end, the answer is yes. We didn't always get this hot, and when it does, it usually lasts that long. You could get 10 days of the year where it gets like that, but it's rare to get a month stretch or a month and a half or 2 months. That's rare, thank goodness. But when you get to the fall, you get a taste of your weather here in Oklahoma. It doesn't last long. It's about a month that you're going to go, wow, it's like back home. So there's a little sneak peek for you. That's coming up. That typically happens around, we'll call it mid-October to mid-November. That's usually the sweet spot. You can give or take a couple of weeks depending on the pattern changes, but you get about a good month of some decent weather like that temperature-wise. We do have sometimes a mini severe weather season that leads into that transition. So that can happen. That can happen the end of September through those first 3 weeks of October. And sometimes you even have severe weather that lingers into November, little surprise attacks all the way up through Thanksgiving. Those are still rare, but they do happen. So keep in mind, there's about a 6-week window there. We could have some funny business across Oklahoma when it comes to hail, wind, or even potential tornadoes. But by far and large, our biggest severe weather season is in the spring, which runs from mid-March to about mid-June. Then things kind of quiet down. All right, that is it for me. I'm trying to think. It's about a quarter till, so enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, the rest of your work week. I'll be doing probably another live next week. I'll be out here for a few days, taking a little break, but I will still be posting a blog on Sunday and all that stuff. So I'll still keep you updated on the updated forecast. Meanwhile, appreciate you guys checking in with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.